We do want to point out to you, however, that that place that you want to be, once you get there, will only provide a platform which will cause you to launch more rockets. In other words, you never really get to the final place, because each new vantage point also brings new contrasting experiences, which the creator in you synthesizes into the yet new idea, which source becomes one with, that you must get up to speed with. Now, we don't want to belabor the point, but really we do want to belabor the point. We want to drum it into your consciousness. We want you to leave here never ever forgetting that your life experience is going to cause a constant expansion within you that you must stay up to speed with, or you will never be satisfied. You can't leave a gap between you, who you think you are in this physical body, and you, who you have really become as source energy. You must stay up to speed with who you are. Recently, Jerry and Esther had exposure to a contrasting experience which caused a strong awareness of a rocket of desire to be born. And Esther said to Jerry, uh-oh. He said, what? And Esther said, there's no turning back. We cannot pull back from that which life has caused us to become. You must relax and go with the flow. And what we're wanting you to hear is that there is a way to know which way that flow is, because what happens is, as source becomes this new expanded you, source is this powerful signal that is offering this strong beam that is calling you forward to it. The call of source is ever present, always present, if you're listening for it. But you know what goes wrong? There are two things that go wrong for you, and we'll just bluntly tell you what they are so that you can get them out of the way now. Two things that keep most of you from easily becoming up to speed with who you really are. The first is that 99% of every creation is complete before you see physical evidence. And most of you let your emotions follow what you're observing. We're going to talk about how to take emotional journeys apart from what's actually happening. That's a key point. You can't keep looking at what is and have what is evolve to something else, because whatever you give your attention to is a vibration that you've activated. And when you activate a vibration, law of attraction responds to that activated vibration. Law of attraction says that which is likened to itself is drawn. Law of attraction says when you set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m., that's the signal that you're going to hear the broadcast off. In other words, you can't put your radio tuner on 6:30 and hear what's being broadcast on 98.7. The frequencies have to match up. And you can't have become this expanded being and have your tuner set on not enoughness and ever be up to speed with who you are, or more important, ever feel good as long as you are holding yourself in that separated place. So the first thing that gets in your way is you've forgotten somehow that 99 and 99, 99, 99, 99.9999, almost all of your creation is completed vibrationally before the evidence starts taking shape. The other thing is that often you're hearing the guidance of source. You're really going to like this. But it doesn't sound like you thought source would sound. Well, source should sound like angels singing, yes? Source should sound like joy and ecstasy and love and appreciation. And we want you to know that really is how source sounds and feels. But maybe something's happened to you and you're over here in despair and fear. And source, who never stops being aware of you, is calling you toward who you really are. But do you know what the call of source sounds like to you when you are in fear or despair? It sounds like revenge. And you know how we know that? Because we understand the vibrational emotional scale. And we know that when you are in despair, you are disallowing the wholeness of who you are. In other words, on this emotional scale where appreciation and love and joy are on one end, and despair and fear are on the other, grief. On the end that feels really, really good is your perception of your empowerment. That's your being tuned in, tapped in, turned on to who you really are. That's what you feel like when you're focused in a way that is so in alignment with who you really are, with the source that is you, that there is no separation between you, and you feel alive and empowered and vital. You feel wonderful. And on the other end, where you feel so awful, the reason that you feel so awful is because you are perceiving that you have no power. If you've ever been in despair or grief or even fear, and you have found, and it's a sort of knee-jerk reaction, you often find it without even knowing you're finding it, and the reason you're finding it is because source is summoning you this way up the emotional scale. You find yourself in revenge or in rage or in anger. Don't you know, if you've ever come from fear or despair into that, don't you feel better? Don't you personally know that you feel better? We know you do, and the reason you feel better is because there is less resistance in rage or revenge or anger than there is in fear or grief. And anytime you are moving closer to who you really are, the sensation within your body is one of relief, because it always feels like relief when you release resistance. So the art of allowing is the art of allowing yourself to be in vibrational alignment with who you really are. Many humans are practicing the art of resistance, which is beating the drum of what I don't want and using it as my excuse to activate a vibration within me that complicates my signal and keeps me from being that one strong signal. So are you getting it, that your emotions, when you feel wonderful, you're in alignment and you're sending one strong signal? And do you know, when you do that, you are powerfully influential. In other words, one who's connected to this pure positive energy is more powerful than millions who are not. And when you are focused upon things that are causing a separation in your vibration, now you've muddied your own water. Now you're sending out a sloppy signal. Now you're not getting what you want, and you're usually blaming the circumstances that are around you. And we want you to understand that it does not matter what the circumstances are around you. It only matters how you're responding emotionally to those circumstances. And when you discover that you can take an emotional journey that is different or separate from the action journey that you may be living right now, when you discover the power of guiding your thoughts for the purpose of guiding your emotions, then you've shown yourself the true art of allowing. Now, next time you're enraged over something, instead of being mad at yourself, you'll realize that you must be doing something right, because you are feeling better than you felt before when you were feeling powerless. We watch Esther. Even Esther gets angry about things from time to time, and every time she finds herself angry, she has been beating up on herself because of all of the people that she thinks should be up here in pure positive energy. It should be her. And then we explain, Esther, you were feeling powerless about something. Something was happening that made you feel powerless. And the rage is a step in the right direction. Hopefully she'll move through revenge before she acts on it. Hopefully she'll move through anger and rage before she acts on it. But we want you to stop being mad at yourself when you are in some negative state of being. Instead, we want you to bless the guidance that is within you, that is letting you know how to quantify your journey, you see. So when you get it, that when you follow that, Joseph Campbell said, follow your bliss. And we think those are the best words ever spoken by a human tongue. Follow your bliss. But sometimes you can't even get a whiff of bliss. If you're over here in rage or despair, you can't get a whiff of bliss. So the rule of thumb that we would use is, I'm going to reach for the best feeling thought I can find from where I am. And we want you to understand that you can't factor in what somebody else thinks. What they think has no bearing. There are only 2 points in this vibrational relativity. If you try to figure out what they want, or what they want, or what they want, or what they want, or what they want, you'll just complicate the signal. It's only your guidance system is only operating on the vibrational points of relativity between you and you see.